Hi everyone, welcome to week 12. Hope everybody had a very fun and safe Halloween and you're all ready to tackle November and our last couple weeks together as a class. So I had a pretty nasty cold knock me out last week for a couple days, and that's why I am very behind on grading your primary source analysis papers and your discussions and stuff from last week. I'm going to catch up this week, but um, yeah, my body just did not want to cooperate with me. So that's part of the reason why I'm only giving you one module to do this week, just module 22, just to give myself a chance to catch up on all the grading that's outstanding. Hopefully, it'll be useful for you all. I was thinking you could use the time to jumpstart your research for your iSearch papers, catch up on any missing assignments for this class, and then also if you're feeling, crunched with your other classes, or if you've succumbed to any seasonal sicknesses like me, it'll be kind of a nice breather to catch up on things. So as far as the module for this week, there's just the one, module 22, which is on consumption and suburbanization in the mid 20th century, so in the post-war moment. It really extends our discussion of that consumer as citizen, or the consumer citizenship that we started talking about with World War II in the home front, thinking about buying things, buying homes, living this life that was kind of constrained in terms of expectations and the roles you're supposed to play in the suburbs. How does that factor into what was viewed as, appropriate American values, serving the country, patriotism and loyalty? So think about this module in terms of like all the stuff with advertising and with all the things that people were buying and the development of home ownership and suburbanization as something that's really important to look at in the context of the Cold War, in the context of post-war. The United States is now, involved in these global conflicts. How do people try to regain a sense of safety at home? And that you kind of find that in the way that they structure things like home layouts and applying for loans and things like that. So we're going to talk about the GI Bill in Module 22. We'll talk a lot about sex and gender roles, and we'll talk about racial restrictions and discrimination as well, as we go into our discussion of the civil rights movement in the 50s and more of the complicated understandings of how policy worked with community activism once we get into the 60s. So that's Module 22. That is what you have to do this week. And besides that, get a jump start on your iSearch papers research. If you haven't yet submitted your topic to me through Canvas, please feel free to do that. I am more than happy to respond. I'll give you suggestions about sources. I'll give you some feedback on your research questions. For those of you who have already submitted your topics, I'm working my way through them now, and they're all really interesting so far. Other than that, feel free to email me if any questions come up, and I hope everybody has a great week. All right, thanks.